Hello, this is an overview of anaerobic respiration. This is cellular respiration without oxygen. Some anaerobic organisms will use an inorganic electron acceptor. In the example of methanogens, carbon dioxide is reduced to methane gas. In sulfur bacteria, sulfate is reduced to hydrogen sulfide. Organic electron acceptors are used by bacteria and yeast, which is a fungus used to make bread, wine, and beer. Our muscles also use an organic electron acceptor when oxygen is depleted. Let's first look at alcoholic fermentation. The first step in all forms of cellular respiration is glycolysis. A glucose molecule is oxidized into two pyruvate molecules. We know if there is an oxidation, there must also be a reduction. In this step, 2 NAD are reduced to 2 NADH. Also in glycolysis, the energy released by oxidizing glucose is used to make ATP by substrate-level phosphorylation. There is a limited supply of NAD in the cell. If the cell runs out, glycolysis stops. So pyruvate is converted into a molecule that can take the electrons from NADH and recycle it back to NAD. In this process, ethanol is formed. To convert the pyruvate, 2 carbons are ripped off. We call this a decarboxylation. Those removed carbons form carbon dioxide. So when yeast ferment, they produce carbon dioxide bubbles. These bubbles cause bread dough to rise. They are also the bubbles you see in beer and wine. The energy yield from this process comes from the glycolysis step. As you have learned previously, glycolysis has a net yield of 2 ATP. This makes anaerobic respiration about 2% efficient. This is significantly lower than the approximate 32% efficiency of aerobic respiration. When we are exercising heavily and our lungs can't keep up with the demand for oxygen from our muscle cells will switch to lactic acid fermentation. Glucose will go through glycolysis as usual, producing the 2 pyruvate, the net 2 ATP, and 2 NADH. Since there is a lack of oxygen to drive the Krebs cycle and electron transport, those steps are not available to the cell. Pyruvate begins to build up in the muscles and NAD supply begins to run out, threatening to shut down glycolysis and end ATP production. So, NADH is used to convert pyruvate into lactate. This recycles NAD to keep glycolysis running until more oxygen becomes available. Unfortunately, the buildup of lactate or lactic acid in muscles causes soreness and cramping. Eventually, oxygen becomes available again and pyruvate is directed back into the aerobic respiration steps. In summary, anaerobic respiration is glycolysis to generate ATP and fermentation to recycle NADH back into NAD to keep glycolysis running. And that's it. Thanks for watching.